Hello, how are you? This YouTube channel of mine is supposed to be here to encourage people to learn new things, particularly to do with knitting, maybe other things, other stitchy things perhaps. But this morning I'm mainly in the spirit of keeping things real and showing you how it is. At the moment, how it is this house is empty. This is my studio. This is where I normally do my work. My stash, everything is supposed to be in here. It's all gone. So we're supposed to be moving, which is great because we are very excited to be moving. We both work from home, so that means that we can live wherever we want, which is fantastic. But it also means that when you're moving house and it gets delayed, then it's a bit disruptive for working purposes. So I'm here at home on my own today. So normally we're both here and we're both working from home, but everything, like I say, everything's a little bit disrupted at the minute. But I'm doing my best, and we were supposed to move yesterday. That was the plan. That was what we thought we were doing. We didn't move yesterday, and I don't know when we are going to move. So I am just going to carry on and try and sort of do some things that I maybe don't normally get time to do while I am waiting for everything to happen, whenever that might be. So that's what's going on at the minute here. And now I'm going to show you some knitting. So in this room is where a lot of the boxes of things are, and all my stock from the website has been packed away, and it's all in these boxes here. And what I wanted to show you was the scarf that I made with the advent sets that we produced last year. So here it is. Now it's not very easy to show it to you like this, because I don't have all the equipment that I would normally use for making videos. I'm just going to add some photographs of me wearing it in here so you can see what it looks like when it's worn. I've got a box. Here. That's got all the bits and bobs that are to do with the advent scarf are in here. Let's have a look. So this is the inspiration behind the colours of the yarn that went into our first Advent collaboration. So the collaboration was between myself, Hannah, who is George and Rose, and two yarn shops, Knitting Pretty and You and Yarn. And I found this Christmas card. It's a card that my mum and dad sent me. I think Mum probably bought it from the hospital in York, I think. When we were talking about doing this project, we needed something to inspire what the yarn that Hannah was going to produce. And I was kind of looking for something pretty colourful, and I looked through a load of old Christmas cards that I had, and I found this, and I just thought the colours were stunning, and I just thought, if I give that to Hannah, what is she going to come up with? And what she came up with was the most amazing set of mini skeins of yarn that I've ever seen in my life. just the experience of giving someone a picture that I thought was inspirational and letting her go off and play with it, and her coming back with this was actually quite emotional. The first time I saw the yarn, I just wanted to cry because it was just incredible. That's all I can say. So then when we got the yarn, had to come up with a project, because the advent consisted of half of it was yarn, and we wanted it to be an exciting set of yarn for people, and half of it was presents that were chosen by myself, by Sharon at You and Yarn, and by Diane at Knitting Pretty. We all had a share in choosing the presents. We were trying to think about people opening the little packages every day in December, and making them relevant to the people that were going to have bought the advent calendar. So that's what was going on with that. But also we needed a project for the yarn, so that people could make that project if they wanted to, or choose their own project. So I started doing some experiments with some odd bits of yarn that I collected together, because I had an idea in my head that I wanted this project to be done using entrelac technique, but I wanted it to look as amazing as I could possibly make it look. I wanted to use as much of the yarn as possible, but I didn't want people to be running out of yarn in the middle of that section of the scarf. So this was a little sample that I did. I came up with the idea of having the moss stitch edging, which I stuck with that. And I wanted to do a mixture of stocking stitch and reverse stocking stitch, but I didn't like how that looked, so I had to move on from there. So this one was an experiment of doing all different stitches, because I wanted the different textures in the scarf. So some of these stayed in the final thing. Some of them I decided weren't quite what I was looking for. Oh, and then I was messing about with different size rectangles. So this one, some massive rectangles, and I like that. And I like, this is entrelac all in one colour, obviously, all in one yarn. That's a Georgian Rose yarn. But that was going to end up using too much yarn, so I couldn't have the rectangles quite that large, but I like that. This one, I tried adding some beads, and I liked the beads. Anyway, they didn't make it to the final thing, but I quite like them. Now, what else did we do? I think I was trying a different size rectangle there. They're a bit smaller than those massive ones, but they were still a bit too big. And then I don't know what I was doing there. I think I was still playing about. I was trying to get it, trying to work out how I was going to get this scarf to be the size that I wanted it to do, what size the rectangles needed to be, and how many rectangles we needed to have. And I think that might be fairly similar to the finished thing. So anyway, so by the time I'd finished doing all that experimentation, it's taken up quite a lot of time. I've got another sample here that was too big to go in the... I never finished it, so the stitches are on stitch holders. That was on, I think I was quite happy with that, which is why it ended up being quite such a big sample, because I was doing, I was working out how to transition between different, going from one colour to another. So that's why it ended up being quite a big sample. So it was too big to fit in the... I think I thought I might carry it on and make it into a scarf, which is why I kept the stitches on stitch holders. But it was done on a slightly larger needle, so I felt like the tension was a bit loose. So I think that's why I've just kind of abandoned it. I might come back to it and make it into a scarf, do something with it, I don't know. So that was our collaboratory advent calendar for 2022, and we are now having a little think about what we're going to do for 2023.